pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the clouds. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my story. You lost your best friend, shit's got you stressing. Wanna find a fool who didn't cock back your weapon. Don't wanna look to the church for confessions. If you kill him, you can end up in correction. Some look for the needles and drugs for injection. When I lost Caesar, I was ready for the action. This shit hurts hard, and it really did. But you gotta let the pain go, and that's how you live. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the clouds. Feel the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my stories. Falling in love may be easy to some of y'all, but some people in this world have downfalls. Been in love so many times their heart got lockjaw. Mention the word love, pause, then the tears start to crawl down their face fast like Niagara Falls. Feeling you had them messed up like prank calls. Why it gotta be so damn hard trying to find the right one? Set your standards high and get this like an M. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the clouds. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my stories. Phone bill is due, rent and cars too. By the end of the month and you got no food. Mom at home first and dad can't go to work. That's only if you had a dad, imagine that hurt. 4 kids in one house, one mom and no spouse. Not enough room and family sleep on the couch. You don't know why and you looking for an answer. Just found out grandpa got cancer. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the clouds. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pains of life. Just listen to my stories. Just listen to my stories. Just listen to my story. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the clouds. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my stories.
Coming back to you
Just listen to my stories.
once again. Me and Miss Talisa Hawkins, aka Queen, are going to be hosting a very, very unique, very, very unique show today. I'm just waiting for Queen. Right? We're just waiting for Queen. We don't know what's going on, but some of us are having internet issues with our internet provider. We're not going to say our internet provider's names. However, hopefully everybody's having a great day today. Me, myself, I'm having a wonderful weekend. Blessed just to be able to be the person that you are hearing on your whatever you're listening to me on your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, your whatever you are on. However, let's see
Hello. Sorry, I lost
No,
signal on my phone.
we're gonna check Miss Hawkins and see if everything's
How are you today?
There you go. There you go, Queen. Yeah.
Yes.
Look. Yay.
Yes.
Right?
Signal dropped out on the phone. I apologize, everyone.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, you know me. I can run my mouth for a little bit by myself. You know.
You're silly. But I'm here. I'm ready. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling grateful and thankful. How about yourself?
I'm feeling exhausted. I had a really trying weekend, family drama and all. Hope we get into it today as we start our show.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's what I was saying. We ended the show so dramatically last week, or on, on what was that, Tuesday? I mean Wednesday? Yeah, on Wednesday. We ended the show so dramatically on Wednesday. I was like, wow, we did that. We did that. And your your energy is just so great. I love working with you. First, I want to let you know I thank you and I humbly am grateful for you doing this podcast with me, and you are a brilliant co-host, Queen.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you so much. I feel the exact same way. Thank you for the opportunity. I've been trying to be on podcasts and podcasts for a while, but you know how I am. My life is crazy and hectic. And so you provided me this platform and this opportunity to come on here and share what I know. I appreciate it.
you're welcome. And see, that's the thing is like us being able to keep this one schedule 2 times a week, that shows that we can really focus on the things that we believe in. And that's one of the things that I am grateful for learning is being able to faithfully stick to the show. I mean, besides like events like Black Arts Festival and Juneteenth, things like that prevent me from doing my shows like my live shows that you were a guest on, and I am so grateful that you were a guest on that too, because seeing you live is way better than just hearing just your voice. Like, it's they both just go hand
I
in
know I look good. I look good.
hand. You do. And honestly, I wouldn't mind doing these with cameras if possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, and I'm definitely interested too. Sundays and Wednesdays seem to work pretty well, so it's just a matter of making sure that we meet on those days. And it
Yeah.
gives me a place because it's honestly, I'm sharing full disclosure, y'all. I'm sharing my 1 bedroom condo apartment with my sister, my niece, my son, and my mom every now and again. So it'd be real hard to find a quiet place to do this. Or, I'm trying to record and they coming in the house all loud in the background. I'm like, oh, we forgot you recording today. Sorry. So it's super hard to do all of that in this one small space. So being able to get out and go somewhere would definitely help because then I won't have to worry. I'm babysitting my niece right now. I'm secluded in the bathroom.
Look. But see, that's just it though. Like, we are all working so hard to be better. And that's what I don't think a lot of other groups understand when it comes to Black in America.
Mm.
It's we are trying. It's just there's so many things that we have to learn how to put on the back burner that we're not used to putting on the back burner.
Yeah, or it's just so much stuff we gotta overcome. It's a lot of, besides just the laws and all of that, that we have to deal with white supremacy and all of that. But the day to day gaslighting or the negative, reinforcements in the media, like all of that takes mental acrobats to not start to feel low, to not start think, oh damn, you know what? I ain't good enough. You got to remind yourself every day that you're good enough because the world tells us that we not. So that's just one additional hurdle that we got to deal with from the morning we wake up. When we wake up in the moment, we got to fight off those images and ideals and stereotypes of who we are and what we're capable of in a world where white folks don't have to do that. They just can wake up and be. They don't have to worry about fighting off mental messages that's the mental media is putting out negatively about them. So,
Right. And then you add on once again the traumas that we're not even acknowledging, and we go out and we get into relationships and have friendships that we're not fully invested in, and it's like there are so many things that we need to work on before we start going, even venturing out of our own to do anything. So it's like
right.
I totally get that. That everything you said is so right. And then like it's it it's amazing that once again our conversation today is going to be about fathers and their importance in black and in black male and female lives as we are children and as we grow up. Um to you, what is, cuz you've had your father in your life, correct?
No, there was a time where I didn't know him. I didn't grow up with him. I mean, I met him when I was a baby, of course, and I think I've met him one other time when I was like 3 or something.
Okay.
But I officially didn't meet him until I was 15. Like that's when I was, consciously aware of like a father and looking for that and who that person was. So I met him when I was 15, and I came to live out here in Colorado with him um, for my high school years. So I've gotten to know him, so I say like he was out of my life for 15 years, and I'm 30 now. So I've had him back in my life for 15 years, and we've been taking this time to build up our relationship.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I do apologize for speculating that you've had your father in your life. Um so just with your relationship with your father, how is that?
Um, well, now it's really great. Now I know like I'm somewhat of a daddy's girl in an adult form because I missed out on all the times of being a daddy's girl growing up. So now I get to, call my dad to fix stuff and when I need advice or but not so much relationship advice, but like when I'm, trying to buy a car and I don't know what to do or I'm trying to fix something, a lot of the skills that I have now, like I recently changed my own brakes on my tires, and that's because my dad taught me how to do that. And
Oh
so I
my
was able to
gosh.
just go over his house and be like, Dad, I need the tools, and have him come out and oversee as I'm, changing my own brake pads. I put together a lot of my own furniture because my dad taught me how to do that. And I do that for a lot of my female friends too because, their dad wasn't there to show them that or didn't prioritize teaching them that. So I have one good friend, every time she was pregnant and she got baby stuff, she was a single mom. She wouldn't know how to put it together. It would just sit in the box until I came over and would put it together for her. So it's definitely was work to get it to where it's at now. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like he met me when I was 15 and we were like, yay, we're, everything's great. I was already my own person by the time I met him. So I had to learn to let him in the same way I had to learn to let men in, my boyfriends and things that I was trying to be in relationship with. So I was learning to do both at the same time.
I Yeah, now see, me myself, my situation was different. Um I knew at a very young age that my stepdad wasn't my dad, right? Um and that this man was whooping my ass, and I was trying to figure out, why is this man whooping my ass and he's not my dad? And everybody's like, how do you know he's not your dad? And I said, look at him. He's just not looking like me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could look around at people. See, this is what people don't grasp when like when you said you were sexually aware very young. I was mentally aware of who I who I was around
Yeah.
when I was a child. So like I always remember people by face. I may not remember their exact name, but I remember them and they remember me. You know what I mean? But that was my thing was that my stepdad, I didn't understand why he was the one whooping my ass and he wasn't my dad. And then my mom's sisters would co-sign by saying, "That is your dad. That is your dad." And I'd sit there and be like, "Y'all lying y'all ass off," which would make me even madder, right? Because they tell kids not to lie. But once again, that's that do as I say, not as I do type of teaching, which destroys kids mentally. But
Yeah.
but adults don't think about it while raising a child. They just go, like I heard a black guy say, you know, the best well, I explained to him how we was talking last week about how black parents move their children from completely black neighborhoods to an all white neighborhood and put their children into a form of shock
Yeah.
and start to hate themselves and say they need therapy for it. And he was like, well, that's a better therapy than having to, or that's a better trauma than growing up in the hood, period. Like, I don't think you understand in a healthcare manner, no trauma is
It
good trauma.
is. Yeah, and it creates a disconnect. Like it creates a disconnect between them and their community in which they belong to, and that
Not
shows
even
up
just
as a lifelong trauma, as a lifelong obstacle.
not even
And
just
every time they
them
go in
in
a
their
room of black
community.
people, they're like I don't even know how to behave in a room.
Well, not even just them in their community. Think about it. It breaks up the relationship between the parent and the child. When the child doesn't have anyone to connect with, the child goes looking for people to connect with. And if the child only knows to connect with the people that know how to connect with them, sometimes that's not who we are, or should I say that's not who sometimes our children should be connecting with, because sometimes it's the negative child that they're connecting with because that's what's going on in their lives right now.
Mm. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that depending on, what community you're in, what neighborhood and all of that. But I think that conversation is spot on, as far as the long term effects that happen to black families and black children when they are uprooted from black neighborhoods and moved into a predominantly white neighborhood. And we're not even taking into consideration when it happens when one of the parents is black, and maybe the other parent is gone or the other parent is white
Oh, yeah.
or
Now,
just
like I was saying though, I just knew that this person wasn't wasn't my dad. So I was constantly looking for who my dad was as a child, which when I wasn't getting the answers when looking for this, I started acting real bad, like to the point to where, people was like, "Is that Satan's child?" I was like, "Nah," but I've made deals with him. Y'all don't understand. I've made deals with him. Y'all gonna lie to me. I'm gonna get y'all. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what it was. Like I was anybody that anybody that would not answer that question, because I asked the question faithfully for years. You understand? Faithfully for years. And every time I got a lie, I acted badder. I acted more bad than I did the year before, and then I got worse, and then it became horrible to the point to where I got kicked out of a high school that a majority of the students was hood niggas. You know what I mean? Montbello High School, I got kicked out, and a majority of niggas is hood niggas. So for me to act all out and to honestly know, when my grandfather used to come visit, he would tell my mom, tell this boy who his daddy is so he can quit acting that way. Because I knew Paw could make all his girls do exactly what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not what he wanted them to do, what they're supposed to do. Complete different story,
What is
right?
that like? Having a grandfather. That's something that I've never experienced nor seen.
Look, Paul was the shit. Okay, he was a Jehovah Witness. Let's not play no games. Paul was a Jehovah Witness. Paul was a pioneer. Okay, they knew him all the way back in New York with their little Jehovah Witness selves. Um, For real, we gonna just go ahead and say that. But Paw was amazing. Paw taught me things like, boy, when you get married, you got to understand some things. If one job ain't good enough, get two. If two jobs ain't good enough, go back to school. And I'm like,
Yep.
why,
And that's the
Paw?
lesson that a lot of young boys, a lot of young black boys or black men, black guys are missing or are never gotten because, I hear a lot about how, women want us to be providers. They want us to pay all the bills, but one job ain't enough to pay the bills. And I'm like, well, then you need two jobs. Or you need to go back to school and get a better job. Like that's what everyone has to do when they can't afford to take care of themselves or their family. Like that's what you have to do. Like you can't just be like, oh, I still expect to have a full family and not have to work overtime to take care of them.
It's just in general, um, parenting as a black parent. I was a single dad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Still a single dad, look. But it's just incredible how people just we if I would have been able to be a child, I probably would have been able to give my child a better childhood.
Mm.
However, my thing was I didn't want to kill my child. Now, having a grandfather though, like we were just saying, that experience within itself is knowing I is how I know that a man being a provider is a blessed man. My grandmother had a nurse's degree or nurse's license as they called them back in the day, a nurse's license way back then, and she never had to work a day in her life. He told me if she wanted to work, that is her money. That is not a woman's stress to have, is to have to worry about going to work every day and keeping a household together.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is asking a woman to maintain two full-time jobs.
That's exactly it. Because even in two-parent households, women do majority of the housework. They do majority of the tending to the children. It's just how it is. You know what? This makes speaking of dads, this is totally on topic, off topic at the same time. This weekend, I went to the movies and I saw that movie Boss Babies 2, Back in Business, or
Oh
Back
wow.
in Business, or something like that. And what was really unique about it was that, it was about two brothers who grew up. And if you haven't seen their first Boss Baby movie, shame on you, because it's super cute and funny. But the two brothers are grown now. And they have the families. One of them has a family of their own, and the other one's a workaholic and the top CEO of a Fortune $500 company. So he sends lavish gifts back for Christmas and never comes to visit. And his brother is a stay-at-home dad, and the mom works full time. This is the first time I've ever seen this in any type of animation or movie for kids at all. I've never seen a stay at home
No,
dad where the
there's a
stay at home dad was actually doing laundry and baking and playing games with the kids and singing and doing real full time home stuff, and then was still proud of his wife who was successful and was the mayor and was living her best life and very successful. I was like,
well, then you
I didn't
definitely
see
need to
this.
get on to Netflix too, because there's an Asian cartoon doing the same thing with a retired Yakuza hitman.
Oh yeah, I read that. I read that manga, but I didn't
Queen, by the
like
way,
how
what
they
are you
animated it.
smoking today?
Wait, I have it right here. Today we are smoking Pac-Man Nebula.
Ooh, I
This
have
is a
heard
sativa. Yes, this is a Cosmos brand. It's a sativa. I got it when I bought it. I didn't really look at the THC level. I was in a hurry, and now I'm looking at it, and I'm highly disappointed with a total THC of 13.66.
don't look. Once again,
All right,
THC level is not that does not mean a thing. Understand, when you look at it, you know good weed, and that's the thing. You have to look and smell it. You know what I mean? As a
yeah.
connoisseur, your boy be because I get you high. Uh,
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't
I
get to look or smell that one at all. I had to order it online and pick it up and brush out. And then I looked and I'm like, oh,
look,
because it feels like it's 13% THC. Like, I'm not really, getting the high off of it. More of like I'm, cool. Like, cool, but I'm not high. But maybe I just got a higher tolerance.
which is true because I just also I was too far away. Which is true. It's possible because I'm also learning more about marijuana, the newer strains. Like, did you know that basically all marijuana strains, all flowers, are just overly sexually frustrated females who've never had sex.
That's hilarious.
Yes. So they constantly put out a pheromone to try to attract um more more females, I mean more male plants to try to get them, you know what I mean?
Get that
But
wet, wet.
yeah. So they got it now you have so in the beginning of growing, they weren't doing that as much. But as the generations grow, their potency gets higher and higher because they're just cloning them, right? They're not they're not regrowing them from jump. They're just cloning them.
Um,
And they're just basically mutating their sexual frustration even more as they
That's
get.
hilarious. No, I never knew that.
Yeah, so that's something I didn't know neither. And like I said, for every generation that's sexually frustrated, right? They keep putting out more of the uh THC tetra. I can't remember the specifics. Don't quote me because I'm not like no genius when it comes to the specifics on it. But I just know that that's what they keep doing, and every generation is going to do that more and more. Isn't that
That's
crazy?
interesting.
Yeah. So every generation of THC is always, if it's grown properly, is always going to be more potent than the generation before.
Yeah, so that would explain why my tolerance level just keeps on rising.
Which is true, but like I said, for me myself, I've stopped smoking blunts as much as I have,
Hmm.
and I've backed down to joints more often than blunts. But at the same time, I don't smoke joints like I smoke blunts. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
It does. It does make sense. And I mainly smoke blends. But then when I want a tolerance level, I'll clean out my pipe. Or when I want to stretch my weed for a while, I'll just, fill up a pipe or a small little bubbler, and I'll do hits that way because it goes straight. I don't know. I just get high or some reason. So that's only when I'm trying to lower my tolerance level or when I want to stretch the little weed that I have. Because unlike you, I can't afford $300 in weed like I won't. So
Look, it's not like that's what I want. Like if I could get that cheaper, I sure would.
I know you would. Shit, if you could get it cheaper, I would be getting it too.
Right? It's just, you know what I mean? I just once again, I know myself, and I know that I could be putting that money to so much better use, like, but at the same time it's like, but I got money going to better use. So why
Ah, that's right. And you know what? We have to remind ourselves something I'm working on is you have to remind yourself to not be so hypercritical of yourself and what you're doing because we could all be doing more. But it's not are you doing more? It's are you doing something? You know? You
Yes.
are doing
Are you
something.
Are
So
you in the marathon? That's what I tell people. Are you in the marathon? Like, it doesn't matter if you're walking, because marathons, right? You got people walking, jogging, hiking, biking, boating. I
mm,
mean, just in general. Like they
yeah.
had, they got the long marathon, the short marathon. It doesn't matter. Are you in the marathon? And at the end of the day, when it comes to what you are focusing on, are you finishing each section and each step so that you can move to the next step of the process?
Yeah, you're right. But in staying with our thing, because we always get sidetracked. We have to try to stay on topic because we could just talk for hours and hours about everything. I wanted to come back to the question I asked you last week, though.
Go ahead.
So, what I asked was, if you guys remember when we ended the show, I said, if you didn't have to spend so much of your childhood looking and searching for who your father was and being angry and upset about that, do you think you would have been free to discover your sexuality much younger?
That is a very good question. Once again, yes. Yes. If I would have had my dad in my life, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have gone to the extent of things that I did.
Mm,
I believe um like when I found out who my dad was by himself. It was just his friends because he was only in love with my mom. And that's what you know what I mean? That was his thing. Like he was that type of faithful. You know what I mean?
mm,
So when it came to me being like, I don't want to be the guy to sleep around. I'm not gonna be that guy to sleep around, or you know what I mean. I'm not gonna be that guy that has multiple. I know where that comes from. That's something that that has to come from a lineage of people that don't do that. You know what I mean? Where cheating is very like I just it like when my mom tells me stories on how she caught my stepdad cheating and how my aunt and her have caught my stepdad cheating. I it just disgusts me. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it is like and
What part of it disgusts you?
like how could you do this to somebody and you've made a commitment of marriage?
This the betrayal part of it.
Yeah. Like you're married to my mom. You're not her boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me,
You're,
it's the lying. Like, like you
I
just
mean,
lying to me. You think I'm not gonna figure out? Oh, you must think I'm stupid. Like,
and see, that's the thing. Guys lie for the dumbest of fucking reasons.
yeah,
It's
and
not
that's
that
because
they
they think we dumb too. Like,
no, 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 no,
they
no.
so dumb,
They
they oblivious
guys
to us figuring out they dumb. They
guys
lying.
want women to be dumb. That's just it. Guys want women to be dumb so they can get away with lies. Not that they think you're dumb. It's maybe because she does this, she'll go, "Oh yeah, no, 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 no." No, every woman's got a typewriter in their head, typing down time, place, memory.
Yeah.
Conversation, filing it in a file space that only they know how to reach and operate
It's,
within their
the
head.
memory is as deep as deep.
And
It's deep.
yes, and for guys to try to push that, like, oh yeah, that's nothing. It's not a it's they don't really remember everything like an elephant. Yes, the fuck they do. Like, and it's an emotional tie that they put to it. That's
Hmm.
how and the memory invokes them, which is also how I know how my dad also hurt my mom to the point to where my mom was not really worried about the way that I was treated as a child because of her whatever situation happened between her and my dad. It caused her to not treat me the same way that, all the rest of my brothers was treated. So I've had to forgive a lot of people, like I said, and just once again, I'm learning so much about love and enjoying everything except for the whole part of knowing that there's nobody there.
So you think that it was the relationship that something that whatever went down between your mom and your dad is why she was the way she was towards you? You don't think that at all she treated you the way you are that way because you're gay? You don't think she knew?
I mean, nah, because once again, she when she talks about it now, she's like, I would have to this day. She's like, I don't understand how because you're such a boy, you're such a guy, like, and it's not about
She wanted
and,
to.
yeah, and because it's not about that. It's because you, like I said, you have so many people that have misconfused the trauma of being gay with what being gay really is, and that's the one thing that I've learned to accept is that unfortunately a lot of people believe that they should be having anal sex to be a so-called quote unquote gay person, and that's not the line that should be crossed at all, period. And that's just me. I don't i don't understand it, but I let other folks, that's the way they choose to live. But me myself, I'm going to be with somebody that believes that that line should not be crossed when it comes to love. Love is something way beyond sex. Hello.
Sorry. My niece is harassing me for some snacks and she wants to come and sit in here with me. She's so
Are we
sweet.
talking about your niece?
Yeah, she's 3. She's so sweet.
Oh,
I had to tell her no, go sit
all
down.
sweet.
When they're that age, that's the good age. Hello, Manuel. And yeah, but I was listening to what you were saying, and I can't really speak to that. But what I can speak to, I think, is the fact that people. in general don't understand gender and sexuality at no, regardless. They don't, not even just gay, but straight between men and women. Men have perceptions of how sex should be and relationships should be, and they don't really align up all the time with what women want and what we want for ourselves and what we think sex should be. And for thousands of years, our identity and our feelings and belief around sex have been put to the side or dismissed or not even took it seriously. Like in this day and age is the first time women are able to say, you know what, I like this sexually, or this what makes me come. So it's just a fact that religion, unfortunately, I hate to point to people's religions and everything, but Christianity has been so steeped in how we perceive sex and sexuality and relationships that we can't even have an honest conversation about what's going on, because everybody wants to go back to, well, the Bible says, okay, well, guess what? In reality, that's not working. So we have to expand our understanding of what sex and gender and relationships look like.
Once again, though, that's a conversation that we have not been raised to have. We
Mm-hmm.
have only been raised to have
Yep.
survival techniques in America. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
about the rest of the world, but in America, when it comes to black men or black guys and boys and young boys in general, we're not raised to love our black women. We're not taught to ask our black women, how do we love you? Our mothers don't teach us, hey, this is how you love a black woman. Like, those are the things that have never been relevant in conversation.
Yeah.
Those things, like, we're taught, once again, God first. That's why God is in there. We know God better than any other culture out there because that is all we have ever had to
We
depend on.
talk is God and this is
And and then each other, which they found a way to break that up by, once again, making a permanent big mama at every slave master's homes, making every black male believe that there's a one black woman that's supposed to take care of a whole bunch of black children, right? And that black men play no role because only thing they do is be out there in the field working.
they play a role. Their role was the buck. Your job was to produce babies. I'll be out here having sex and having as many babies as you can, but don't take care of none of them. And those are the roles that we continue to see being played out in our communities today. Now, I want to say that I'm super proud of my generation and a couple of the kids coming up behind us, because I do see some black men out there with a bunch of kids that's taking care of their 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, or at least in their kids' lives. So I want to applaud you. But historically, that wasn't the case. Historically, I knew a lot of black families that had 10 kids, 8 kids, 6 kids, especially in the South. All of them raised by Big Mama. None of them know their daddy. They all know who their daddy is, but none of them talk to him, or he don't come around that much. And mom ain't never home because she always working. Kids
Look,
just raising each other.
and that's the truth. And that, once again, that's that's what black families from the hood have to deal with, once again. And a lot of people do not grasp that. And they think, "Oh yeah." Excuse me. They love to think, "Oh yeah, let's just work on this and work on that." We got to work on self-love first.
Mm-hmm.
We got to work on self-love first. We go out into other cultures to have relations because we don't love self first.
Right. And we don't want to have to do the work. The work is it's confronting, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's confronting to have to actually sit and look at the impact that slavery has had on your family and how that has impacted you. Because once you really start to connect those dots, there's no way you don't feel the pain and you don't get angry. Like, I was angry for like a good 3, 4 years, just raging.
And once again, when black women are angry, you got too many people that find that as a problem because one, black men as providers should be able to provide a way for a woman to get her anger off her mind or off her shoulders as males. Like I said, and this is just my information from seeing my grandfather with my mother and her mother. I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know anything but a man being a provider and the word provider being attached to so many different words, you know what I mean? And for guys to not grasp that that's their job and to not want to work hard enough to be that provider anymore, that's scary.
It's scary. It's reality. It's the reality that, black women have lived with for thousands of years now, ever since the first slave, ever since the first village, ever since the first time, black woman was sitting at home and looked out her window and saw a white man kicking in the neighbor's door. White women, black women have lived with the reality of, you know what? We're not always going to be protected. And that's a hard thing to swallow. And right now, what we're seeing is generations and generations of black women feeling like no one's coming to save me, no one's coming to protect me, no one's going to do anything about it. And that puts you into a survivor mode, whether you want to or not. You will feel like I have to protect myself at all times, at all times. And that makes you more masculine and it makes you live in reaction because now you just reacting like all the time. And that's no way to live. And it has lasting impacts on our families and on our children because we were so focused on surviving. All we taught them was how to survive, and we didn't teach them how to love.
Correct. The love was only given through Big Mama. We always ran back to Big Mama because Grandpa, when we did get Grandpa passed before Big Mama.
Or was killed. Let's call
We
it a
always
spade.
That was something that
It
was always
wasn't really
prevalent.
that they
Like
passed because most of our fathers didn't get to live
or
that
been
long.
locked up. You're right.
They were either hung, they were hunted down, they were chased out of town, they were thrown in jail.
Oh yeah, now you're. Oh yeah, look, I forgot about some of that. Like we've had some of those out here. I remember my aunt talking about her boyfriend being so bad that they ran them out of town. Yes,
It happens. It
I don't
happens.
want to say their
You
names.
know, it happens. So, and in our history, it's happened a lot. So, and Big Mama was the one who wasn't working no more. She had all those kids, and now all those kids is working, and they taking care of her to make sure she don't have to go to work because she too old and it's too dangerous for her to be working. She falls, she flips, she mess some white person's shit up. She gonna get beat or in trouble for that. Nah, let's keep Big Mama home. She can't work like she used to, and she could just keep all the grandkids. So even if we didn't want to perpetuate the Big Mama cycle from the slavery, we had to because there was no other way for us to have someone take care of our children or go to daycare. So we had to rely on it. This system created a circumstances that forced us to continue to live in those same type of family situations that were there before.
And and it's amazing how white people just consistently and constantly want to put us in to some of their so-called situations once again, like I said, for me as a gay man, as a gay black man from the hood, I know we believe in God. Like I said, that's just something that we have been raised up on. I know that if we don't have black friends and we got more white friends than black friends, that's not that those aren't the same type of niggas that like me and you niggas. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean?
And on some level you don't really know what kind of white friend you got until it's tested. So
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
you that's the thing. Like you don't know what type of white friend you got until a situation comes up, and then you have to see. Like, well, you have to step back and watch and see how they react to it, and you'll learn a lot. I learned a lot doing that. So
Especially when it's a situation where shit pops off. You know what I mean? When shit pops off and either the police got to come or just in general you got to get down with the get down. Those things those things let you know who you're around and who's got your back and who you should be supporting as a person. Like in
right.
general, you got so many because it's so many Uncle Ruckuses that are out
Hmm.
there destroying the idea of the average poor black person.
Right.
And
Right.
they're the ones culture vulturing the whole situation and bringing it back to white people, saying, "Oh yeah, this is what we're doing in the hood." You know what I mean? And they're making it okay because they're getting paid for it. They have an education, they're getting paid for it, and white people like it. So as long as the white people are paying them for it, that's 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 what's going to happen. And just like once again with black men not having or black women and black men not having a father in their lives, it is a very very bad move to not pay attention to the causes and the effects of not having a male role model in a child's life.
Or not even just a real role model, but because all fathers ain't role models. I'm gonna say that, and I can only speak
We're not
about
talking about once again,
our
we're not talking
son.
about children.
I think it's important that males have male love, that males have male validation.
No, because there are two things that males can be: boys and men. Period. Everything else is imaginary. You know what I mean? Not that we're not talking about individuals once again, like I said, that have both sexes. We're talking about individuals that know in general. You got a dick, you know what I mean? That thing get hard, blah blah blah. You got so many guys just in general that have children from playing around. Just from playing around. You know what I mean? And they don't take that seriously because they're children and they're allowed to be grown children. But a man holds himself accountable to every one of his actions. Same thing with a woman. A woman holds themselves accountable to every one of their actions, rights, wrongs, whatever. And it's amazing how many people are being allowed to avoid instead of dealing with their trauma. And that's the thing. Like I said, for me, the majority of guys that like anal sex, it's a form of trauma that they've accepted as right because they always throw to me, "Oh yeah, this is how I got turned out." Like I didn't get turned out. Like I don't know about being turned out. I know about being open minded enough to experience something with somebody same age as me. You know what I mean? But I don't I don't know about I don't know about forcing myself to do something that would literally destroy my body. Literally.
Is that what you think?
For me, yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, I
I
can't.
don't know. Look, I don't
I
know
haven't
for
done it
women.
myself, so I can't.
Look, I don't know for women. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know women are built different. You know what I mean?
hmm I haven't
I
used
will
it.
not I will not try to say that a woman is built to do any cuz I'm not a woman, right?
Right.
What I do know about healthcare, males, and that one thing, yeah, that body part's not meant for that. And what folks be doing, oh, nobody wants to grasp. Like, they don't pay attention to the information that I have. Like, when they go in for colonoscopies and they do the camera scans of their insides and what they look like. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doctors have scans of a perfectly untouched, never harmed colon, and then a colon that has never been touched at a certain age, and a colon that has never been touched at that's age, right? These are all healthy colons that they have, and then they show you all the rest of the colons. Like, there's no way you can tell me that that's not trauma that you're putting on that part of the body. I mean, I've seen people come into emergency room with hemorrhoids from so-called enjoying themselves. Women get natural hemorrhoids from child from pressure from carrying a baby, which is totally understandable. You got all that extra pressure on you and you trying to hold in something trying to come out that's feeding not just you but the baby too. And ain't nobody saying how much y'all eating.
No.
You know what I mean? Don't nobody know how much the baby is absorbing and how much she's absorbing. All y'all know is when it's trying to come out, it hurts. And it is a lot of pressure. And sometimes it even got a lot of women get constipated when they're pregnant
Yeah.
because they're feeding for two, and that their body is draining so much nutrients from that from the waste coming out of their body that it's just no longer there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what happened? It's stuck. But that's just like I said. I don't know. You said for a woman, it's completely different. Tell me.
I don't know if we're still sticking with, the same placement of the penis, you know,
Yes.
we're doing that because I don't, go that far. For some women, they enjoy that. For me, it is not enjoyable.
See,
I
that's what
make
I'm
that very
saying, right?
clear.
Why?
Like, I'm not trying to be a virgin again. I went through that. I already popped that cherry.
Right?
I don't need no other ones. So I'm pretty, but everywhere else, I'm pretty, open. Hey, I'm even open if you open to it. If that's what you like, hey, that's what you like. And I may participate, but you doing it to me, probably not.
Wow. Can I
Probably not.
ask a question?
Yeah, go for
You
it.
guys ask for that.
Yeah, I've dated. I'm gonna, say this. Mainly white guys who have asked me to do that for them. So
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely have. And I've dated, I one of my exes, he was a white guy and he was openly bisexual. So he told me flat out that he was bisexual and that he's faithful whenever he's in a relationship, but he has been in relationships with both women and men.
Okay.
And I respected it for it. I was like, all right, cool. He was like, but look, I've been tested, I've been checked. He explained his positioning in the relationship with the men and everything. He was very open, very transparent, very honest. And I appreciated that. So,
And you should, because once again, guys lie for the dumbest of reasons. And that's, like I said, that's one of the main reasons why I'm 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 ready for this conversation and ready for all of these conversations when it comes to like personally, like I appreciate when you do ask me personal questions, because I do have to honestly find within myself an honest answer about love, which is an experience and a topic that, like I said, I am learning. I don't know specifics about love. I do know that I myself have had more lustful situations than I have had love. I've had, oh yeah, that's that's the one for like 2 weeks, and you come. I mean, if I would have known that like those first 2 weeks you could have, those are the lust phase, I would do so much, right?
right.
Like if I would have just known that feeling was all lust, and to just be patient and grow, it would be just like, yeah. But it was just like, I think it was more the fact that um there was an individual to mess around with. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you weren't really having you weren't really having relations before. So now that you're actually able to think about it, and not that it's relations, you were having intimate connections with someone, and now that you can have them, you're experiencing intimate connections in a whole nother level. And when you first get into it, it's like, woo, okay.
Mm, I
But
got
then,
that. For me, I was thinking about when I was in my dating coach job. I'm telling you, I learned so much from her. When I was with her, I learned that the romance phase, the love, the euphoria feeling that you have, like it normally lasts about 4 months. And then
right, the
after
lust
that,
phase, yeah, the
like
lust
something
phase,
more has to sustain you, like a mutual interest in the person keeps the relationship going past that, but like true love takes like years to build. But
yes,
the euphoric feeling it, and they said the same thing about marriage, like once you get married it'll start all over again. But and you need to be aware of that. So I realized that, and so now I'll date a person for 4 months before I'll really like slap it and call it mine. I'll date somebody for like 2 weeks, and like for 2 months, 3 months, to really see how I feel about them and see the progression before I actually will be willing to put a commitment into something. And so I'll
do
be in a
people
dating
wait
phase.
that long? Look, I don't know
Well, for
anything
me,
about
dating is
dating.
still,
Like,
everybody has a
my
different.
ass ain't even on a dating app. Like, you asked me that before, if I'm on a dating app. I'm not on a dating app. I'm not on any of that stuff. So I live. I'm not gonna lie to you. I sort of kind of live vicariously through everybody that I know in their relationships.
Oh, I'm not dating right now, but when I'm dating, I'm dating. Like for me, dating is the get to know you. Like people, and that includes sex for me because I'm not going to enter into a commitment with anybody that I'm not sexually compatible with. I'm very upfront, clear about that. I know that about myself. I have cheated in the past. and I know the reasons why I cheated. So, in
Oh, okay.
order to
I was gonna
prevent
say,
that,
are those daddy issues when women cheat?
no, I cheated because he wasn't getting my rocks off. He wasn't doing it. He was
Wow.
a guy.
Look,
He was so
look,
confident,
look,
so
look,
sweet.
look, look.
He was
I
older
would
than me.
love to keep going on this, honestly. But we're gonna have to do a part two to this.
Ah,
Right? We're gonna have to do a part two to
relationship.
this.
We should just
Yeah.
make the next one about relationships.
Well, part two is just about dads and once again how we you your dad is now a big part of your life, right?
Hmm.
So knowing that, that's a different feeling than those that still don't have their dads around.
Yeah. But realize, and we can end it on this. Realize that I put the work in. I make the effort because my dad is very New York, and I have an older sister, and they don't talk because she don't call him. So the reason have a relationship is because I go over to see him. I call him when I need him. Every now and again he texts me or something, but for the most part, I put in the effort to go over there to see him. I put in the effort for the relationship
Because I
that I.
think guys don't really know. Guys are scared. Once
Yeah,
again,
that's it. My dad's a grow. He's my dad, but he's still scared of rejection too, which is why he.
right. Once again, guys, once again, we do dumb naturally. We can be book smart. Okay? When we're talking about topics that we have learned and educated ourselves about, we know. We know. This whole speaking on feelings and like I said, I've sent someone an apology, and see, we even going over on our time.
Yep.
Um, I had to send somebody an apology because I was jealous of how proud they were, and I believe that for some reason, just because they had one physical blemish on themselves that should have made them like be unconfident. Like this nigga was so confident growing up in high school and stuff. And I was jealous. And I had to apologize to this nigga like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Mm.
Not even 3 weeks ago. We say 3 months ago. Um, just because that's when I comprehended that I was jealous of somebody.
Mm.
You
That's
understand?
big of you too to acknowledge that. And
But just to be able to process that information is great for me because that's one of the things that I can learn to forgive other people for. With that note, do you have anything for us to go out on today, young lady?
um, no. Besides, you guys know who I am. This is Queen Tia Talisa. You can find me at Queen Tia on Instagram. Queen 20 Tia 26. Let me clarify. And if you're looking to get a hold of me, that's the best place because I'm mostly on Instagram. To be honest,
Have you seen our new flyer on Instagram?
I have. You sent it to me in my DMs, and it was amazing.
Why, thank you. Yeah, I put together the new flyer. And for me, as we're going out, I just want to say once again, guys, we need therapy. Niggas from the hood, we need therapy for the simple fact I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know niggas in Denver need therapy because we have been through so much and we hide all our pain by just keep going forward because that's all we know is to keep moving forward and forget about our pain. but somebody needs to listen. As long as you are strong enough to talk. And that's one of boys' strong weak points, where men are confident. That is why conversation rules the nation. Action speaks louder than words. I am your host, Chris Diggins. You can also reach me and Miss Queen at blackccent.com and on Black Conscious Convo, our Facebook and Instagram page. Holla at your boy. Queen, thank you once again. You know you the best, right?
Oh, stop it.
Love. Have a great
You
night,
great.
Queen.
You too. Talk to you again soon.
Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the cloud. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my story. You lost your best friend, shit's got you stressing. Wanna find a fool who didn't cock back your weapon. Don't wanna look to the church for confessions. If you kill them, you can end up in correction. Some look for the needles and drugs for injections. When I lost Caesar, I was ready for the action. This shit hurts hard, and it really did. But you gotta let the pain go, and that's how you live. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the cloud. Feel the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out, but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my stories. Falling in love may be easy to some of y'all, but some people in this world have downfalls. Been in love so many times, their heart got lockjaw. Mention the word love, pause, then the tears start to crawl down their face fast like Niagara Falls. Feeling you had them messed up like prank calls. Why it gotta be so damn hard trying to find the right one? Set your standards high and get this like an M. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the cloud. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out, but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain of life. Just listen to my stories. Phone bill is due, rent and cars too. By the end of the month and you got no food. Mom at home first and dad can't go to work. That's only if you had a dad, imagine that hurt. 4 kids in one house, one mom and no spouse. Not enough room and family sleep on the couch. You don't know why and you looking for an answer. Just found out grandpa got cancer. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the cloud. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out, but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pains of life. Just listen to my stories. Just listen to my stories. Just listen to my story. Lay your head on your pillow and close your eyes if it's mellow. Daydream and drift away what you thinking about. All the thoughts bottled up and you ain't trying to conceal them. Break out, fly away, see your tears in the cloud. Feel like the world is on your shoulders and your heart is real heavy. You wanna let it out, but you don't know if you ready. The death of a friend, falling in love, the pain in life. Just listen to my stories. Just listen to my story.